There's another company you wrote on. It's called the Signet Jewelers, and jewelry market is like going crazy, especially in India. By the way, the diamond, the lab-grown diamonds, etc. So, what was your thesis on this, and what happened exactly after you wrote that?
So this is a more recent one. So it's yet to see how it'll play out. So Signet is the world's largest retailer of diamond jewelry. They're primarily in the US. They have brands like Zale and Kay and Jared. The kind of typical way they're known is they have these stores in malls and they advertise on TV, and you go there when you want to buy an engagement ring. More middle income consumers, so relatively cheaper rings. And the issue with them is I think lab-grown diamonds are taking over the market. You look at any young people, they're proposing with lab-grown rings, that they definitely prefer lab-grown rings. And lab-grown rings are now chemically, physically, optically identical to natural diamonds. In fact, they're so good that even the GIA can be fooled. And jewelers cannot tell the difference, even with the jeweler scope, cannot tell the difference between lab-grown and natural. They are identical now, and lab-grown are so much cheaper. And I think this is going to just destroy these diamond retailers for several reasons. One, as lab-grown proliferates, it's driving down the price of both lab-grown, and we're seeing natural diamond prices fall 5% every month, which is a big issue. And if diamond prices are falling so much, how can you earn money as a diamond retailer? If diamond prices fall 80% over the next year, you're going to be doomed. They have about $2 billion of inventory. All that inventory is going to be worth a lot less. We know from historical precedent that when these things kind of become commodified at a cheap level, the jewelry businesses get destroyed. So the example I kind of give with lab-grown diamonds is the most valuable metal in the late 1800s was aluminum. People didn't realize this, but the top of the Washington Monument is actually 100 ounces of aluminum, because that was seen as the most valuable metal in the world, because it was very tough to get in its natural pure form. But then we found a way to smelt it, and it lost 99.9% of its value in a few decades. Women used to wear aluminum jewelry, believe it or not. That was what the wealthy people would use, but now no more. And I think diamonds are going to be very much the same way. And now that you have lab grown, it's going to drive the price down. Everybody can have big, beautiful diamonds, and then nobody will want them. And it's just going to be so commoditized. And the most disturbing thing to me is the management has these very, to me, incorrect responses to this threat of lab-grown diamonds. You got to be willing to pivot. You got to be willing to change. And they say, we're going to retrain our staff to teach customers the benefit of natural diamonds. We're going to add warnings on our receipts telling them that lab-grown value diamonds aren't going to hold up. What they don't say is lab-grown values are going down, but natural diamond values are going down too. Everybody is going to be screwed. It's this kind of complete mismatch. So I'm very confident we're going to see diamond prices, both natural and lab-grown, plummet in the future. And if historical precedent is true, once diamond prices fall 90% plus, nobody's going to care that much about diamond jewelry. And if you're a Signet and you can make a lot of money selling diamond engagement rings now and high margins selling lab grown now, just as the prices come down, it destroys your business model. And it's so wacky to me that like the pushbacks can be, oh, women prefer natural diamonds, but that's not true. You talk to women, you look what they say online. They're perfectly happy to get a more beautiful, bigger diamond that's a lot cheaper and they can spend more on a honeymoon. They say lab grown has higher margins, and that's true, but the prices are coming down so fast, it's not going to last. You say you're going to re-educate your store people, but this is temporary fixes for a long-term issue. So I really like this thesis of lab grown diamonds changing the diamond industry. I would short diamonds if I could.
But tell me one thing. So this thesis which you're saying, it's an industry-wide phenomenon, right? It's not a company-specific phenomenon, as far as I understand.
Yes.
So why only, let's say, Signet Jewelers, and what about the other companies which are there in the industry?
So there's not really a pure play as much as Signet. If there were other companies, I would say bet against them too. But Signet is the only company that, their whole thing is diamond jewelry. Oh, yeah. So, and there's not an easy way to bet against diamond prices. However, I did write an article where I try to say, other than Signet, what could he bet against? There's a company, Compass Diversified. They have a business, Lugano Diamonds, that's more on the high end, but that's a little more protected, and that's not the entirety of their business. Signet is more of a pure play. If you want to get creative, there's a country, Botswana, and I think 80% of their exports is diamonds. So that country is, potentially going to bet against. But there's not really many pure plays. And then there's some micro cap diamond miners that are going to be hurt, but those are so small, they're irrelevant. So I would bet against anything in the diamond industry, but Signet is the pure play.
Got it. Fair.
If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.